Welcome to the second Hautix podcast, number 2, finally. And we have the whole lot of us, which is quite amazing.
To be fair, the first one had the whole lot of us as well.
Yeah, but after that we kind of gave up with the idea of doing everything because we are quite impossible to tie down.
Because it took 5 months to get everybody one time.
Well,
It just took a global pandemic to get it sorted out.
It took the end of Baselworld to get us all together.
incredible time.
We picked a day for it, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did.
We were knocking around subject choices last night. Lots of great ideas were produced by many, many of us. We all took part in contributing great ideas for this podcast, and then they were all bundled aside by the fact that Baselworld, well, Rolex, Tudor, etc. are at Baselworld.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're doing
Oh,
intros?
okay then. Yeah, go for it.
So, Adrian, who are you?
Who am I? I'm Adrian. Who's next? Adrian from Bark and Jack. Let's go through the girls.
I am Catelyn from 10 and 2.
And I'm Kat from 10 and 2.
Rick, you're the next girl.
Okay, right, okay. I'm Rick from Scottish Watches.
I'm Ricky from Scottish Watches.
And Rick isn't showing his face because he's actually a secret agent.
No, I can't actually see
I
my
don't
face. It's just my
understand
broadband
this.
signal is so poor here that if I switch this on, the whole lot is going to come to a grinding halt because I'll be uploading rather than downloading.
And to be
Even
fair,
the
it seems-
last time that we recorded, or we didn't even record, we were just hanging out, and he still refuses to show his face, even though you guys have all seen it.
Let me. I don't actually know how you do it here. Hold it.
God, Grandpa,
non-video
please,
participants.
somebody help Gramps.
Right, okay, there's nobody else here, so there you go.
It's okay, because the
about-
last time we were on Zoom, we just had backgrounds of Rick's face.
I did get a special background for today, but I'm not going to leave it up all day because I
Okay.
know you guys will. Hang on. Let me see if I can figure this out real quick. Just home.
Screen
Which one are
capture.
are you in the one at the very top?
I don't want to disclose my specific location. I'd rather leave it a little vague.
Where'd you keep the tigers?
No tigers.
Oh.
For those of you
Sorry.
listening to this, you should know that we're conducting this via Zoom so as we can speak to each other. And Catelyn has just displayed her trailer park home behind her. And there's her proper home.
And there's my home.
It looks pretty good inside, doesn't it? I mean, you've done it up well.
It is, right? Like, it's trashy on the outside, but on the inside, I made it real nice.
Catelyn, you've got a big, massive clock.
Adrian's
you
already
say, Ricky?
hiding his head. Yeah, that's why Adrian's hiding his head.
I didn't even hear what Ricky said.
Do it.
Do I want to
I
know?
said you've got a big, massive clock.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure do.
It's huge. Right, Rick, off we go.
Anyway,
It's loud, too,
right,
which is
okay,
a big problem.
so Baselworld has had received its gigantic kick in the nuts from Rolex, Patek, Tudor, Chopard, who seem to have gotten in the act for some reason, and Chanel this morning. So that's really going to be the topic of conversation, I think, for most of today. But first of all, give us the wrist checks. What you're wearing?
Oh, you remembered.
I did.
But is he wearing a different watch?
No, of course
No.
not. Don't be ridiculous.
We need
So
to
I'm
start
wearing the
a GoFundMe
Panerai. So
page
Adrian, what are you
for
wearing?
To be fair, I'm wearing the same watch I wore last time. My no-date Submariner. On the bracelet for once, which is quite nice.
Not on a funky NATO strap.
Not on one of my native straps that you can get over at barkandjack.shop or one of the leather straps that I sell over at barkandjack.shop.
They go very
actually
well with
just-
the leather pouches that you can get from barkandjack.shop as
Yeah,
well.
that's how I store them in my sock drawer in the
Don't you
leather
have a
pouch.
really great spring bar tool as well?
And
That would be quite useful.
I've actually just sold out of those, so
Did you
That's
really?
how-
I keep saying that I need to order one because I think they're cute
they're all
And
gone.
adorable.
and adorable.
Good.
I've actually got this Oleg and Vice watch here, and it's on a bracelet, and it's far too big even for me, and I do not have a strap tool in the house. They're all in my office. So I could have just have ordered one from you, Adrian, but you've run out of them, so
They're
that's
all gone.
all gone. Never mind. Catelyn, what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Stova, the Warner Wild limited edition Verus Grau, and I have it on a blue shark, like a seafoam green NATO strap.
Is that the grey dial?
Yeah,
is
it's
hot.
gray dial, gray date wheel, so everything matches, and then it's in a sandblasted steel case. So
Yeah, that is really cool.
I love.
It's
this
good we can
watch.
actually see this as well.
Yeah. Well, we can. Nobody else can. But
Nobody else matters.
sorry, y'all.
Kat,
You know,
what have you
there
got?
was the scam for a while. Rick was starting trying to get people to pay to be in our group chat. What if we got people to pay to be in a Zoom chat?
Listen,
Interesting.
Ricky has been teaching me all about these OnlyFans accounts.
I
think
heard
it's the
about this
future.
last night for Ricky.
I think Ricky seems to be an expert in these.
It was you that brought it up, Rick.
I heard,
To be
I heard
fair,
it's
it
you
was
that brought
me
it
that
up.
actually brought it up, but that was mainly because it was a headline on the BBC website about how OnlyFans appears to have, be taking over the world. And also because it was prompted because of a rather tenuous conversation Ricky was having with Jodie on our last episode, which seemed to be suggesting that Ricky was managing while being alone to not be quite as alone as being alone would normally mean. But there
What?
we
I'm
go.
confused.
What did you just say?
I don't know.
Ricky, do explain.
I need so much more coffee
I
before
don't
you
get what you mean.
Nonsense, you don't get
All
what I
right,
mean. You know
Kat,
exactly what I'm
on-
talking about.
What is on yours, Kat?
Anyway,
Me?
Cat one.
Oh, I'm wearing the Grand Seiko SBGM 221. It's the GMT movement, and I've got on a very Tennessee camo strap right now.
It's so redneck. I haven't seen
I
the
know.
strap in person yet
Ricky has just grinned and left his seat, which means that
because
Ricky
he
has
needs
just
it
developed
a
a
watch
plan.
real quick.
Oh,
And how are you getting on with the Grand Seiko? Is it good? It is. I
Yeah.
think you said in your last podcast that it is the one that everybody a lot of people, move towards. And I have to say, it's always the one I see in the window at Porter's in Glasgow and go, yeah, that's actually pretty cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been out for a while, but I feel
Yeah.
like in the last probably 3 months or so, it's gained a lot of popularity on
It's
the
one
gram
of the
for
more
sure.
normal Grand Seikos. It's not
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a crazy case
Yeah.
shape or something like that.
Yeah.
It's great. Love that.
Yeah, size is good. I like it.
What is the
Right.
case size on that?
It's 39.
It is 39.
Yeah.
Right, Ricky, wipe the grin off your face that we can all see on this and tell us what watch you've just reached for.
Casio
Uh-huh.
that I've been wearing all day long.
Considering it is now 4:15 in the afternoon here.
Hey, I've had a busy
So-
day trying to fix all your f***ups.
Listen, I loved how I get the blame.
I got a phone call from somebody saying, you need to go and sort this out because Rick's caused a big problem and you need to go and iron it out and you need to phone this person. So I phoned that person and I ironed it out.
What's that? What have I done?
You took full credit when they'd been working on that for months behind the scenes.
They hadn't been working on it months behind the scenes.
That's-
Yes, they
it.
had.
Didn't say anything. So there you
That's
go.
because he's a gentleman.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Well, so can I ask this? Who actually is wearing a watch every day right now?
None of us.
I know. I do wear a watch every day. I don't
do
wear
wear a
it
watch
all
every
day.
day?
But yeah, I do.
I'm treating this like underwear. I'm not going out anywhere, so why should I be wearing underwear?
I mean, I try to remember if I take a new watch photo like that day, then I'll put a watch on. And I try and I wear the G-Shocks all the time just because I grab them to go work out in the mornings. But yeah, the number of times I'm not wearing a watch is ridiculous right now.
I like the fact that I'm always at home now, so I can like wear a watch for 5 minutes, take it off, and then put something else on.
Yeah.
Wear that for 5 minutes.
That is fun. I thought that I would do that and that I would rotate through my watches, and instead I've just worn none of my watches. So I wore my vintage Omega yesterday and then started washing my hands and remembered why I shouldn't be wearing that watch during this time. So
How much water resistance doesn't it have?
I'm sure it's a negative number. Like probably being close to a closed bottle of water would get condensation. We'll see. Who knows?
So Baselworld then.
Aren't you all gutted you guys never went?
I've got a theory that it's not over.
I don't think it's
I've got a
over
theory.
either.
I've got a theory that-
I've not heard that it's actually over. I just
No,
I
but
think
I
no one
think-
is going to give two shits about it now. I think,
I think people
Yeah.
are too quick to say this is the end of Baselworld, and I genuinely don't think it is.
but no one's going to want to go. No one's going to pay the amount of money that even coming from England over there. It's what you could do it on probably 200 quid. You could probably do it with, and no one's going to want to do that just to see a few Zins or a few Orises. Although I don't think Oris are going to be there.
Well, there's what the market thinks of it.
Oh! Whoa.
We shouldn't laugh
Bless
at
its
someone's
heart.
business going down.
So MCH Group has lost 6% of its value in the last 40 minutes.
Wow.
That's 3 o'clock. In fact, it's even sooner than that. So that's 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So at just about 4 o'clock, let's see what the time was. Yeah, exactly 4 o'clock. Between 4 o'clock and 10 past. No, in 5 minutes, it lost 6% of its value.
Oh.
Wow.
So there you go.
Well, what
Now-
to do is load up Bark and Jack and see how much they've lost since they don't have any stock.
Well, I think the interesting thing there's this number down here. Market capitalisation, 81 million quid. Okay? LVMH Group spent... How much did they spend buying Tiffany & Co? 5 billion quid or something stupid?
Right.
Who's the only guys that have any decent representation left at Baselworld? LVMH Group. If I'm sitting in lockdown somewhere in my chateau in France, I'm thinking, why don't I just buy Baselworld? We'll just make it all about LVMH Group and we'll invite all the little independents that are there and we'll make them all our best buddies and let Rolex and that do their own thing in Geneva. And we'll maybe join in with some of it.
Well, for the people that don't
make
understand,
Baselworld.
for the people that don't understand market cap, because that says 81 million, and then it says over on the side their revenue nearly 500 million. What is the breakdown for people that don't understand these figures?
Well,
like me?
basically what that means is that in theory, if you wanted to buy all the shares, you could buy all the shares quite cheaply just now. Now, that obviously depends on somebody wanting to sell them. MCH Group has an unusual relationship with Baselworld as a venue in terms of the local cantons in Switzerland that also have an involvement in the ownership. I don't fully understand how all that works. But basically...
I'm looking at all the very confused faces in this Zoom chat right now.
Well, it's because Ricky asked a question and then Rick just goes off on talking about something else.
Well,
So
I mean,
what is the difference between market cap and revenue?
Well, revenue's what you earn. So how much money did you earn last year in your turnover versus how much you're actually worth? So
But
you
how can they
earn
500 million?
Well, you can earn 500 million, okay? But the profit in that is what? Is, let's say, 50 million. And it's your profit which then backs up what your shares are worth because your shares pay a dividend based on how much profit you make. So you can earn multiple times turnover of what you're worth. So you earn a lot more money than what your company is actually worth because you have costs and you have suppliers and you have stock and you have to pay people and all the rest of it. So that is why they might appear to earn multi-millions of pounds but not be worth exactly the same. That's the market capitalisation. But obviously the thing with market cap is it's not really true because as soon as somebody starts to try and buy lots of shares, the share price goes up because it's scarce and worth something and so people speculate. So you'd have to spend a lot more than that in reality. But I think there's an opportunity here. If I was LVMH Group, I'd be going, why not? Everybody else is scarpered, I'm the only one left. Who can attract back, run it themselves? So I don't know it's necessarily over.
But by the sounds of it, everyone's starting to... There's going to be this new Geneva event with Patek and Rolex. They're going to do their own thing, which is then going to tie in with Watches and Wonders. So it seems like everyone's just jumping ship over there to try and bring everything together. So I couldn't imagine them buying Baselworld. It would be an easy opportunity to do something, especially if they are heavily in the jewellery industry. So that would make perhaps more sense for them.
I mean, how big is the jewellery side of Baselworld, never having been?
Pretty big.
It's got
Thanks for that analysis.
Wouldn't you say it's about the same size? It probably just doesn't get as much media hype.
I mean, I listened to an interesting thing the other day with Barbara Palumbo, who was basically talking about how all of the...
Was she drunk?
Well, she was drinking.
Right.
She was on her way, but she was talking about how when the likes of Swatch Group and that left Baselworld, Baselworld went and started chatting up all the jewellery guys that had previously left to try and fill the space. So they got some deals done with a number of the jewellery companies. They all decided to come back. Then Baselworld got postponed, and without consulting all the jewellery companies that they had just chatted up to get to recommit to Baselworld, they rescheduled it for January. And January is when the two of the world's biggest jewellery shows are that are in other locations. So all the jewellery guys feel completely screwed over by Baselworld, as I understand it, and are obviously, along with the watch guys, not very happy at not getting any of their money back and the attitude that they're taking. But it's clearly the jewellery guys aren't going to have anywhere to go. I can't see Rolex and Watches and Wonders suddenly opening themselves up to lots of jewellery exhibitors. And will a Rolex-dominated show decide to let all the independents in? Because the independents want footfall. As you see from that announcement, Rolex aren't interested in punters going along.
Well, do you want to recap the press release for people that haven't seen it?
So the press release is basically saying that Rolex appear to have initiated this, and the others have joined in. I think there's an interesting question there there's an interesting legal question there for MCH Group about tempting other people's customers away from them, but I dare say the courts will have a go at that, perhaps at some stage.
Explain that.
And so if you are a person and you get together with other people who have contracts with an organisation and say, let's all leave that organisation, especially if you're a competitor. So Rolex is a competitor to Patek. So if you get a couple of companies together who should be competitors, and they go and they have a chat and they get together and they do stuff that disadvantages somebody else, without wishing to end up getting sued myself, there is certainly some legal debate that I imagine there's some people sitting in some Swiss law offices having a wee think about whether there's some breaches of contract there, because I'll be interested what the small print says, because participant A persuaded participant B to leave the show and break whatever contract they may have had going into the future. So there'll be some interest. Well, somebody is writing as we speak a little bit of a legal guide on this. It'll be on the website probably tomorrow, the Scottish Watches website, because there is certainly some arguments to be had about what's happening.
I think that's a lot of shit.
Okay, that's fine. Let's see. I think, MCH aren't going to sit there and do nothing.
Because Rolex aren't an event organiser.
No, it's nothing to do with Rolex being an event organiser.
And Rolex's contract will not state something along the lines of, if you're unhappy with something because a virus decides to kill our show this year and we postpone it till next year, and you and other people decide to do something else, we're going to sue you. I doubt that's going to be in the small print.
Let's take a similar industry whereby if you're working for client A, and when you stop working for client A, you decide to pinch some of client A's other clients.
Rolex don't work for MCH Group.
No, I'm giving you an example of how this works elsewhere in law.
Well, but you have to prove that Rolex reached out and initiated this. And I think that's going to be the hard thing. You can't necessarily prove, unless you go back to an email or something like that Rolex initiated it. Everybody, maybe Rolex just happened to say something, and then Chopard and the other brands just said, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We should do that too.
It's what's called tortious, and in theory, it's what could be termed tortious interference. But that's for legal scholars of a different nature than my mind to deal with.
Does anyone know if Rolex and Patek are getting all the guys are getting their money back? Because they've said that they're not going to 2021 Baselworld.
I don't think they'll get their money back. No, I think effectively.
Was that not the kick that made them jump? Because they said they weren't going to get their money back. That's one of the reasons that they said, screw you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Basel had said that if you wanted to, you wouldn't get your money back. You can come to 2021, the new one, but there's going to be a 15% effectively handling charge on top of what you've already paid for the January show.
And then they want to probably do another one at the same time, a few months later.
I suspect that they'll not get any money back now, unless they do actually turn. I suppose they could turn up with a guy with a table. A guy with a table and some watches, and they'll just stand in a great big empty space. Although I think the contract you have with Baselworld, with the MCH or however it works, is they have to produce a 3-story building in that main central hall. So part of it is you're not allowed to exhibit in that hall unless your building is at least 3 stories tall. I seem to remember, I think it was Waco said something about that on a YouTube channel as to what resulted on. So there you go. So it's maybe not over, but Rolex certainly don't seem that keen from the press release. They're very much focusing on it being a trade show for trade and press, whereas the bent that Baselworld has been focused on most recently has been attracting punters to go and have a look. So do we all fancy a trip to Geneva? It'll certainly be Is Pal Expo the one at the airport, Ricky?
Yeah.
Where the car show is?
Yep.
And where was Watches and Wonders going to be? Was that going to be in Pal Expo as well, or is that
I think it
somewhere
was.
else?
Whose computer keeps making noises?
That'll be my computer.
Before we get yelled at, not me.
Shouldn't be picking it up. It shouldn't be picking it up anywhere.
Oh, really? Did everyone hear that?
Yep.
I don't know how.
Because we're not deaf like you, or blind.
No, but I've got my headphones plugged in, so anyway.
I mean, I think the more interesting conversation is you have. I mean, Watches and Wonders had partnered with Baselworld, and now all of a sudden they're essentially kind of hijacking Baselworld's main stars. You know, so like Rolex, Patek, like this whole thing is going to go down in partnership with Watches and Wonders, and it kind of like everybody just hates Baselworld at this point. Like I feel like for Watches and Wonders to do something like that and to blatantly partner with these brands that they knew would hurt Baselworld, I find that to be pretty interesting.
Has anyone been to Watches and Wonders or SIHH?
No.
I have.
What was it like in comparison to Baselworld?
Snobby.
Oh, really? Because I found Baselworld quite snobby.
Oh, SHH was really snobby.
Oh, don't you have a dress code? Don't you have to be at least...
I wouldn't have got in if they had a dress code.
All right.
I was going to say, dang.
There was one event that the guys at Houdinki were talking about that has you have to have at least a shirt and tie. And obviously everything else, but...
Unless I'm going to court or a funeral. No. So, no, SIHH was good. It was a good laugh. But it's very small. It only had like 33 exhibitors, so you could get round it in a couple of hours.
Right.
But it was good. It was good. And all the I think it was non-alcoholic drinks and snacks were all free.
Yeah.
So I'll miss that.
Yeah, I think the only way Baselworld survives at this point is they have to change a lot. They have to make it more friendly for media and for everybody else who comes in. And they need to reach out to the independents and the micro brands more. Like that needs to be their thing going forward.
Unless they become an independent and micro brand show, because they've got the real estate and the floor space for it. Whereas whatever Rolex are up to just now, that sounds like it will just be a slightly larger SIHH.
Well, obviously we've never been, but wasn't it, I think I heard you guys talking about it the last time you went, that all of the independents showcase basically in a hotel lobby across the street from Baselworld?
No? That's the guys that couldn't be bothered spending the big bucks.
Got it.
But the second
Moser.
level... Moser, yeah.
Moser.
So you've got the second level in Basel, and then you've got, I think there's a third, or there's an extra hall, and that's where you had your Doxas, your Zin, those kind of guys, plus Citizen, Seiko, but they're obviously away as well. So quite a lot of the guys were away.
No, I think if Baselworld's smart, you embrace the independents, bring them down to the main hall. People will still travel for the independents. Like there's stuff that you would never see anywhere else.
If they get the timing right as well, if they have it just before whatever is happening, SIHH, Watches and Wonders, then again the journalists could stay over and just do everything in one go.
But it's whether they can actually make a business out of that, because no doubt at the moment they were charging an arm and a leg for their space because people were going to see Patek, Rolex.
Yeah, it was a Rolex show.
Exactly, it was a Rolex and Patek show. But now all of those guys have gone. They can't charge the same amount as what they could, nowhere near the same amount as what they could. So I wonder if the business is actually viable now, because the space is massive, isn't it? It's
Does that space, does it get used for anything else, do you know?
Yeah, we thought it
does?
didn't,
Okay.
but it does, because we checked the website out. They do all kinds of different shows in it. But I think the watch show is the biggest one that they do every year, because it's been running
There's
for
an art
100.
show. There's an art show that they do. That's another big event each year.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just an adjustment on Baselworld's part. Like they're gonna have to embrace. I mean, the owners of the show are gonna have to embrace other shows and things like that. It's salvageable, in my opinion. I really don't think it's dead. I think Baselworld, as we know it, is dead. For sure. And I don't think it would be as big of an event. But if they're smart, they start embracing the micro brands and the smaller brands and the independents. And I think that they would legitimately have a chance at doing something different. Like there's nobody else that really showcases micro brands other than like here in the States, we have the Wind Up Watch Fair, which is all micro brand oriented, but there's nobody else who does that. So, I mean, I think Baselworld could carve out a niche in the community that nobody else really does over in the UK.
And it could go back to being an actual trade show, because they do have suppliers there who showcase cases that they can manufacture or parts that they can create, and that could become a hub. I can't imagine people at Watches and Wonders having all of their big stands as well as having trade shows, so people showing what they can manufacture. Maybe Baselworld would just go back to being a trade show, showcasing movement, showcasing what people can manufacture, and then these micro brands.
They could change the name. They could change it from Baselworld to Basel Land or Basel Village.
Petty.
Euro Basel.
So petty.
Basel Basement.
Well, and I think that these big brands pulling out, it makes it more friendly for people too. You know, the idea it was you couldn't have access to anything. Like even you, Adrian, had talked about, you know, with your channel as big as it was last year, you didn't have access to things. You know, versus now you don't have these big brands. It's much more friendly for everybody versus you have to be Hautix or Blog to Watch or, you know, anybody really major to
Scottish
have
Watches.
that kind of access. Yeah, Scottish for sure. Scottish Watches has all the access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should approach them as a group. Maybe we should actually write to them and say, look, seeing as you've got this space available and it's already been paid for by Rolex, could we have it?
We'll just sit there with a fold-up table.
Exactly. Just 5 decks. Listen, I'll even go.
Rick's
if that
lemonade
happens.
stand.
Absolutely. We'll sell Swiss sausages and lemonade, and did Invicta show at Basel?
They did.
Did they? Epic.
Yep.
I think Invicta just seconding on the left would be ideal.
Sounds good.
Steinhardt opposite them.
Squally.
Squally, yes.
To be fair, Tag
All
Heuer's on
big
the
bands.
entrance, and I don't think that's much better.
Oh, controversial.
Yikes.
Is everyone seeing Adrian vibrating?
So,
He does appear to be bouncing up and down.
Where are your hands? Right.
playing one of my straps.
Yeah, playing with it on what though?
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, so what do we think then? So Basel limps on, MCH Group goes back. But I mean, presumably MCH Group have now got all this money and very little costs. So they've got all this money they're going to sit on for a year. And
There
nothing
must
to
be some
spend on.
legal thing in there, though, that they have to. If Rolex have paid this money,
Not if they then pull out.
They forfeit.
If Rolex
Oh,
then
okay,
decide
so they
we're not
forfeit,
going,
okay.
if Rolex decide well we're not turning up. Well, actually now, what they could do, of course, like if they really fall out with each other, then Rolex could take the stand, as you say, because they have the rights to it, and just not put anything in it.
well, that's what I'm saying, is that they could just have, because it's a huge
Yeah.
plot that
It's-
they have there.
So they could just build it, and then so here we go. So Rolex build their Baselworld boutique. What single watch do they put in the window?
Milgauss.
Rainbow Daytona.
A single rainbow Daytona sitting in the window. So yeah, they could just really screw them up by taking up all the space, because that was the problem when Swatch Group pulled out. Because when Swatch Group pulled out, they had the rights to the big space in the middle that then became the press area.
No, it became a nice water feature.
Aye, but the problem is that they had to take the stands down, but you couldn't get the stands, as I understood, you couldn't get the stands out of the middle of it unless you took down some of the other stands that had already been built.
Yeah,
for
because they
people
charged everybody
that were
to take down the stands, to get the stands out, to rebuild the stands.
Yes, they did. And they wonder why people fall out with them. So I think they will limp on, but I still reckon if I was, LVMH Group, he was briefly the richest man in the world, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. So it's pocket change for him to go and buy MCH Group if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
it's
think it's not a bad shout.
okay.
Just let John-Claude Beaver head up the exhibition. He'd be great. He'd be like the main host at the front door welcoming everybody in.
Shouting at everyone.
He'd be immense. Maybe actually what Rolex could do is they could build that stand, and then in the window they could put a single Zenith Inventor.
A
Just to
hologram
mess
of one.
with- a hologram of one, just to mess with our heads. But there we go.
Oh well.
Y'all
So-
are still salty about that, Zenith.
Yeah. Well, I've still not got it. Yeah, I think.
Are you still on the list? You haven't pulled your deposit yet?
I haven't, but I think I'm.
Wow.
I think I might need to. I think it probably in these times makes more sense for me to have the money in my bank than somebody else. So
Yeah.
we'll see. That's for a discussion later. Not that much later, but later nonetheless. So other than Baselworld, what else has been kicking off in the last week or two?
The world is ending. There's literally nothing else going on.
Nothing else going on.
No.
So we just
There's an Invicta that keeps. I don't know if it's new, but there's this old sub homage, of course. Invicta.
Yeah, the one Jody had in his channel.
Yeah. Is
Yep.
it the 1958 or something?
Yep, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the Bond watch from way back.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a new release or not.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the next hype watch, which will be interesting. Have you seen it? Have you got one?
No, Jody did a full video on it though. and he talked about it on the previous podcast that I recorded with him, and he really liked it.
And this is supposed to be the next hype watch, is it?
Yeah.
Well, and everyone's talking about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is it so...
Those hands are horrible.
It's exactly the same as the sub, though.
What, the hands?
Yeah, it's a fairly good representation of the Dr. No James Bond watch.
Is it?
Well, so is it pre-Mercedes hand then?
Yeah.
'Cause they are.
Yeah, not liking that.
No.
No, we say no.
We
Whether
say
it, was
no.
in, whether it was in Doctor No or not.
I wanted to get one to have a play with it, but they're all sold out.
So what do you think of Ray Donovan?
Ray Donovan. Is that me?
No. Rick, what do you think of Ray Donovan?
I have
Did
no
Rick
idea
watch
who-
Ray Donovan?
Ray Donovan, that's the thingy TV show.
Move your cursor up, right, up.
Oh, what's Ray Donovan? I've honestly got no idea.
Oh, sure. Whose computer is this?
Watch Ray Donovan season 1 on Sky Go. Yeah, I'm clearly like a real addict.
Press Control H.
I'm not pressing anything. I'm pressing nothing. There we go. Right. So there we have it. I don't think that Invicta's that hot. It has to be said.
Well, neither was the Casio, neither was the Q-Time-X, but they're inexpensive throwaways.
The Q-Time-X was all right.
Adrian?
The-
Adrian?
Yeah.
Q-Time-X?
That's a heap of shit. Utter crap. I've got
Oh,
No taste?
desperately tries to search for a
I've
non.
got
a
3
non-Rolex.
Seiko 5s on my desk right here. This one's a really weird one. I was showing the microphone. The microphone's not the
Sure, the microphone.
I'm used to having a camera in my face. This is a gold cased Seiko 5 with a completely loomed dial. That dial
Ooh.
it's weird.
Oh,
I can tell you wear it a lot, but the fact it's got a strap on it.
Well, I bought it to fix it, but then I also bought this metal grinder and metal polisher.
Oh,
And
I
I
think
thought
I
I'd
remember.
not
see-
that
the
kind of
story.
grinder, Rick.
Yeah, and I just ground down I thought I'd try and remove the gold, but actually metal grinders just melt
Remove the
away
gold.
metal.
Are things that
What were you
bad?
do? Were you going to sell the gold? Was it the
Yeah.
we
get
buy
hard.
anygold.com?
Oh, times get hard. It is what it is.
Okay, good. So I did pose the question as to what watch everyone's been looking at while they've been in lockdown. Anyone, and Catelyn denied having surfed the internet at all,
I
despite
don't-
the fact she did a whole show about surfing the internet, looking at shopping.
No, I already knew all of those things that I would buy.
Okay.
So I didn't
So-
have to look.
What watch is everyone going to buy then, if any?
None.
After all of this is over, you're not going to buy anything. That's you. You're done.
I'm buying new rubber
watches.
ducks.
I will. I will have gone 2 months without working. So no, yeah, I'm not buying much of anything.
And while I really enjoyed your last show, 10-2 podcast, you do understand that the purpose of a stimulus check is not to put it in your bank account.
Is it to buy stimulants?
It's to buy stimulants. It's to
We
make the
realize
economy-
this,
Right, okay.
but also I need to protect my personal economy. So
Right, okay.
I will eventually possibly use that check to pay my mortgage or to buy groceries. So
But then if everybody does the same thing, then no one will go into the Daniel Wellington boutique and buy Daniel Wellington watches. And
I
you're
know,
being
but-
just as bad a place as you were to start off with.
the Daniel Wellington boutique is closed until at least May. So
Further notice, May 2021.
Oh
we
God,
live in
I
hope.
hope not. I don't have enough personal time to cover that.
Oh, we've got another employee of Daniel Wellington coming on the show soon.
We do.
Oh,
we
yeah?
do. We have
Really?
we actually have a Daniel Wellington watchmaker.
Wait, like
coming
a
on.
real Daniel Wellington one?
A
Oh no, I
real
know who you're talking about.
Daniel Wellington watchmaker. He a Scottish guy.
Wait, I don't know who you're talking about.
Look at
No, you
Adrian.
don't know who we're talking about.
Look at Adrian.
He's bouncing up and down again.
I've been drinking coffee. I got
Whatever, I need
got coffee
Adrian's
legs.
coffee right now.
He's jiggling. No, we have a Scottish guy who works for Daniel Wellington as a watchmate. Well, a watch repairer. He doesn't actually make them.
They
because made by
have
machines.
watch repair people?
He's a watch repairer that works for Daniel Wellington.
I thought you just threw those away.
No, it's when you buy a Daniel Wellington and the battery's round the wrong way.
So we will be recording with him probably next week, and you'll get to find out all about it then.
Well, that's
he-
fun. I get a
he
behind the scenes.
Yeah, he works for the same Daniel Wellington that you work for.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't. I think she got a bit lost with that one.
Yeah.
I thought y'all were being very serious.
Yes, we realised that. So
Y'all,
yes.
I'm
He works for the same. He works for the same Swiss division of Daniel Wellington that you work for, Caitlin.
Okay. Got it. I'm there
Anyway,
with you. The dots are all connected now.
But unlike the English version, who works for and is too chicken to come on the show, this one isn't. But then he thinks he's going to be fired by them soon anyway. So there we go. So he keeps on posting it to me anyway, saying I'm going to get sacked anyway. So you might as well come on the show. There we go.
Have you spoken
Cool.
to him yet?
Have I spoken to him?
Yeah.
Did we do? No, we didn't do an IG. I mean, I've exchanged loads of messages with him over 4 or 5 weeks.
Who was the
Yeah,
girl
so
that you DM'd last night?
I was about to ask about it.
Yeah. This I was trying to figure out who
Rick
this
is
is.
thirsty, y'all. Rick is thirsty. Wait for it. Hold on.
This is someone who appeared on.
OnlyFans?
No. Her account.
Y'all know
is...
who? Oh, well, this is not gonna work.
Yes. So, I think she's the inventor of the Catlin pose.
No.
Oh.
Yes, she is.
Not that big.
That's.
Y'all know.
I'm sorry. You scroll down. She's invented the Catlin pose, and that was why I was looking to say, well, look, you've had this thing ripped off. No, she's been on Instagram with somebody else, and I think it's either her boyfriend or her husband, and I can't for the life of me remember who it is. So I tried to flush out as to who it was, but she's not answered, so here we go.
Because you're being thirsty. He commented on the most random photo, like just found anything, any
did
story.
I?
It was the story of the Casio.
It was Casio. Listen, I knew in
And he
advance.
just made any attempt
Listen,
to talk to this girl. He was like anything that he could get in with.
I've given Ricky an opening here, so to speak.
No.
I think you've just been busted, Rick.
So
You've
no,
been busted.
I have not been busted
Thirsty.
at all. I knew exactly what Ricky was going to do with that particular message.
I didn't.
you can't
You're
blame
the guy that
everything
wrote the
on
message.
Tried
I
to
saw
slide
it.
I'm the guy that wrote the
in
message.
these DMs.
So anyway, she's not replied, but she's married to, I can't remember who it is, and that's why I messaged on the Casio picture. Because there were other pictures that were there that I thought, no, I'll not message on that picture because that might infer some other things, e.g. being a stalker.
He just tried.
but not in this
anything.
particular case. But
Don't give the game away,
It was
Rick.
a picture of the Casio, and he was like, "Oh, the Casio." We termed that something like
yes,
that.
I don't know. We coined that phrase. Just try and get a reaction.
Just trying to get her to talk to you.
Or we didn't
is
coin
all
that
you were
phrase, but
trying to do.
made famous by. So there we go. You're just jealous because you stole the Catlin pose from her
I didn't steal anything. I've been basic since 1988. Okay,
since 1988.
you can't stop this basic. Everybody can be
Okay.
just as basic.
Okay, good stuff.
Fine.
Any suggestions for watches you're going to buy when this is all over?
I want to get back into vintage. I had a really nice old Omega Seamaster.
You know what's really good
50s.
about this? You can see how Adrian bobs around in front of a mic, and that's why his audio goes everywhere, because he doesn't stay still.
So I need to buy. I am buying a proper podcasting mic because this thing isn't good for podcasting. This is a shotgun mic, and so if I if I move around here, you're not going to get anything. But yeah, I want to get into vintage, and I love vintage watches, and I don't understand why I don't have enough or any more vintage watches. So I just want to get
Because they're a
cheapy
pain in the
stuff.
ass to service.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. But they're cool. And so I just want to get like I've been looking on eBay. I like scouting around at like 200 quid, just seeing what's about.
Yeah.
Just fun things, but nothing in particular.
Did you sell your GMT?
No, I'm gonna wait for the market to recover.
Did you see
do
Paul
you think?
Thorpe put a video up about his guns?
You're joking.
It was really interesting. I love that.
It disappeared within hours.
All right, okay. And do we have a copy of it?
Perhaps.
YouTube does not like guns. You'll get your whole channel demonetized if you put stuff up about it. Even if you're in America, you'll get screwed.
Also, don't talk about 5G and
Don't
coronavirus.
forget 5G, the virus.
Yeah, so explain what happened with putting that in your video, Adrian. Did it genuinely come back to you?
So there's three monetization statuses. You have, I think, red, which means you will not get any revenue for that video. You have amber, which is only alcohol companies will sponsor this video or something like that. Only adult companies will sponsor a video. And then you have green, which means any advert will go on it. And then as soon as you talk about coronavirus within the title, the description, or within the video, because they can read your script of the video, you'll just go straight to amber. You can request an actual person to review the video, which I did, and it just came back saying, "Yeah, no, we're not going to touch that."
Yeah, because I've watched some tech videos that when they mention it, they call it human malware to get round that. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Good stuff. So, cats, you guys have got nothing on the horizon for the end of this?
I wouldn't say nothing.
Cat's
has got
always
a
looking
long
at five
list.
something. She texts me and I'm like, aren't you not working right now too? Like, come on.
Yeah. I'm not as responsible as you though. No, I mean, I'd still love to have a Harrods Tudor Black Bay, if that's still a thing by the time we're done with all this.
This woman changes her mind about this watch.
I know.
Is that not the
listen, I
watch
just-
every
that
day.
Adrian sold?
And
Yeah.
then forgot that you'd sold.
Yeah, I completely. Wait, it was in my possession. for
forgot.
like 48 hours, and then it was gone.
Oh my gosh.
So who do you,
It's funny
do you
how
know
that
who-
happens.
Do you know who you sold it to?
I haven't got a clue.
All right.
I can't even remember if I met up with them and handed it over, or whether I posted it.
Wow.
I can't even remember. No.
So many watches.
So many watches.
So
yeah.
much flipping, so little time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Gotta make the cash.
How about you, Rick? What watches are you going to steal from companies and not send back?
I'm trying to think as to who else there could be. I fancy a Sin. I think I've got to try and steal one of those oil-filled ones.
I
Oh,
am
those are
really
cool.
fancying Sin right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're everywhere on Instagram and it's
Yes.
killing me. I did start looking at those yesterday.
I think
There you
the Sin-
go.
Is it the UX?
Yeah, the UX is.
Rick, is
think
that
I
your
Somebody in
computer
Nashville is letting
constantly
me
making
borrow
noises?
it.
Yeah, but I don't know how you imagine. How can you hear it? 'Cause my speakers
Grandpa, we can hear. We're not deaf.
I'm baffled as to how you're hearing it.
We're baffled as to how you managed to get your clothes off in the morning.
But unless this audio is going to be an absolute shocker because
Probably.
my
Oh,
volume's
Caitlin's
turned up
here.
too. Well, that's true. At least it'll not be as bad. So
Rude.
there we go. Yeah. So the Sin UX, there's the previous gen ones which have the bubble in them as well. I think. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. There's a
bubble in the oil?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've looked at this. Not quite got. Let's see if I can find it. The power of. I mean, does anybody else keep a big long list on Chrono 24 of all the watches they're looking at?
No.
No, is that just me?
No. I know myself.
You know yourself, right? Okay.
I know. Yeah, no. Like, I have a problem. I sent somebody a picture of my watch box yesterday, and, like, I got shamed for it.
Was it not
And-
tidy?
Because it's my watch box, the box that contains all of my watch. Because there's so many in there. It's a huge watch box. Like, I have to clarify watch box every time I say
Coward.
I know.
Just stop.
But what else do you... All right.
Stop. Okay.
My watch
Don't take-
holder. I sent somebody a picture of my watch holder, and so that is it there. It holds a lot of watches, but in my
You're now showing us
defense,
a picture of your watch box.
I'm showing my watch. In my defense, all the watches on the bottom aren't even mine. They're like loaner pieces. So
Just don't give Ricky the ammunition.
that's fine.
She'll shove anyone's things in their box.
I hate you guys. Y'all are assholes. This is why we don't do stuff with y'all. Rude. Y'all.
Oh, dearie me.
Love it.
So,
No, I have too many watches. That's where I'm at.
So what's the first watch you're selling if this goes on for
None.
another... If this
Oh.
keeps going for another month or 2 months or 3 months, if it really starts to go badly wrong, what are we selling first?
I don't think I have like people who've offered me jobs. So I don't think that I'll be in that position. I hope. Like
What kind of
I
jobs?
have people
Just the
well, one
only
of,
friends.
one of them is with an ex, so I don't know that I should take that job up. But no, like so I have people who just said that, you know, if things get much worse, then I can go work for them or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to sell anything. That's my problem. I'm too attached to everything. Like, I mean, my watches of value are going to be my Omegas that I don't have a lot of money into them. So I would get a good return on them, but I love them. So
Okay. So you're doing shadier stuff before you're selling your watches.
I think I
is
would
what you're
do,
saying.
I would totally like, I mean, if times got hard enough, yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
And there is our video clip for the IG promotion for this episode.
Oh no.
All right, Kat,
Sorry,
what you
mom.
selling?
Oh, can I speak of, I want to say, speaking of my mom, I went to see my parents the other day, and my mom was devastated and asked where you have been, Rick, because she listens to the podcast and she's noticed that you've not been around lately a lot. So my mom wants to know where you've been.
I've been working because despite the fact that we're in lockdown, I'm actually busier than I've ever been. So it's just...
The computer.
I don't know how you're hearing that because it's in my headphones.
Because we hear it.
His headphones aren't plugged in. Like,
Yeah, they're not.
dangling off to the side.
You don't just put them on your head, Rick.
Or you have to plug them in somewhere. That would be the problem. Yes, we'll say best regards to your mother. So what are you selling first, Cat, if it all goes pear-shaped?
Probably this Grand Seiko, to be honest with you.
Ouch.
I know. It's the one I'm least connected to, I think. So
Right, okay.
Are you
the
connected to
latest.
any of your watches, though?
I am. I'm not selling that Explorer. Like, that's...
No.
Yeah,
That's a
I've
staple.
gathered from the way you talk about the Explorer that it's a good one for you.
Yeah.
I think the Explorer 2.
Yeah.
Explorer,
I think that's the one I get rid of first.
Yeah. Rick, you have one, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah,
You've got Explorer
neither do
too?
I certainly do. I have a 1990.
He's got a lot of watches.
All we know
1990?
is the Panerai.
Yep.
What?
So there you go.
Why do you wear it?
I've even got a custom strap that Nicholas from Fears made me that has the same
Oh, I do
colour,
remember that.
same colour of red as the GMT hand on it.
Is
And
it a
red
white dial
stitching.
or a black dial?
It's a white dial. It's your favourite, Adrian. It's just the only thing you don't like
Adrian's
about it
gonna
is it's
hit you
got,
up after this episode.
It's got hollow links. It's old enough to have hollow links. That's the only thing, but I actually don't mind that.
So
Because you don't wear it.
The weird thing is that you always wear this Panerai, and then you did this podcast with Cole where you chose surprisingly decent watches. Like my picture of you within the watch world completely changed after that episode, because up until then you'd just been Mr. Panerai.
Okay.
But then suddenly you had some really decent choices, and now you have an Explorer 2 Polar Dial.
See, I'm I'm just who you aspire to be. Adrian.
He's got
It's as
two
simple
Fly
as that.
Magics as well. That should bring him back down to earth.
Not just one,
That's true.
but two.
Two, yes,
Yeah,
that is true.
that was a
Investment
stupid decision.
investment grade pieces.
Investment my ass.
The first video I ever do is going to be the investment grade piece that is the Swatch Fly Magic.
That'll be as good investment as Baselworld.
Maybe that's what I'll take along to Baselworld and try and sell outside the Rolex empty Rolex stand. There we go. So what are you getting rid of first, Adrian? If it all goes pear shaped.
The Grand Seiko most certainly. I could sell the Kermit. I love my Kermit, but actually, you know what? In all honesty, I could sell everything apart from my Explorer. The Explorer is the only one that I love all the watches, but the Explorer is the only one that I'd be really sad if I sold. I think I'd be sad if I sold the Kermit, because that would mean that shit really has hit the fan.
It was really
Like,
real. It
life
was
would be
real.
crap if I had to sell my Kermit.
So far it's Grand Seiko easy in, easy out from both Kat and Adrian.
Yeah, if things change and suddenly life becomes good, then I'll keep the Grand Seiko just because.
But
it's cool.
does that actually reflect where Grand Seiko sits in our view, in that it's a great watch to have, but actually it's difficult to form a long term. It's difficult for it ever to be better than your favourite watch. Does anybody have a Grand Seiko as an absolute favourite watch at our level, at the level of shop $5,000-$10,000 watches?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Well, does the brand ever really encourage that kind of devotion to it?
I think the way that people talk about Grand Seiko, I do believe that they have fans. I wouldn't say my relationship with this particular watch is what my relationship would be like with any Grand Seiko. I'd say I toy with the idea of selling my No Date sub a fair amount. But yeah, I think Grand Seiko are doing an amazing job. I just haven't connected with this watch. That's it. I wouldn't say that's Grand Seiko. It's just that watch.
Ricky, dare I ask,
What was the question?
what would you sell first if this goes on forever?
A motorbike?
Oh, really?
Probably.
Yep.
Only used it 3 times last year.
What sort of bike have you got?
Suzuki GSX R750.
Is it fast? 750, is that the CC?
187 miles per hour I've had out of it. Allegedly.
Shit.
I hear that there's a report in the news today that the police are catching 40% more people doing highly excessive speeds on motorways. So that's people doing over 150 miles an hour. So not just folk breaking the speed limit, but because the M1, the M6 are so dead that people are not just speeding a little bit, but doing well over 150. So I think the last person caught It was reported this one was 182 miles an hour on
Jeez.
the
What?
M1.
When? Where was this? When?
Today.
Yeah, it was today. It was in.
Was that
I
you?
thought it
Are
was
you
fake
sure?
news.
No one's ever been. How would they catch somebody going that quick?
That's what I would want to know. Who pulls
they
over?
they haven't caught them. They have yet to be charged. So they've been clocked doing that, but clearly not caught.
Oh,
But
that
obviously
doesn't
they know-
count for
they know-
anything.
No, but they know who they are. So they will catch up with them.
Because allegedly the police will not chase you if you're on a motorbike in case you get spooked and have an accident and they're held culpable for it. Allegedly.
Unless you're in
sense.
London, where they've said that police can, and they're allowed to ram you now in London.
That's only if you're stealing watches, not if
Are
you're
you
speeding.
serious?
There's some amazing videos on YouTube of these little
Oh my
pricks
god.
just getting rammed off their mopeds and motorbikes by police. It's
Yeah, but
so
that's not somebody
satisfying.
speeding on a motorbike. That's somebody stealing a watch.
Oh, they're
Oh, yeah, that's
speeding
justified.
in the area, but it's
Here's
really
one.
good fun.
This is from the 3rd of April. This one.
That's not 180 odd.
No, but it's also from the 3rd of April. This was an
Right,
article
go
I heard
and find
morning.
this one you're talking about from today then.
It was on the radio.
Well, it'll be
Ricky
in the
needs
bloody
to know.
website as well.
Oh, come on. Don't make me do all the work here. Just accept
No.
this guy was doing 132.
Ricky wants
That's
to
not
see
180
Ricky
odds.
wants
180.
evidence. 180. Let's see.
Probably
Oh,
because it was
that's
him.
not going to work.
He just
I
Yes.
think that's actually. I think that Ricky is actually concerned that it was him. So where did you do this 187 exactly?
On a racetrack.
Aye, right. A racetrack called the M77.
No.
M74.
Try to think, because I took a BMW bike out on the M77. I'm trying to remember what I did on that. I'm sure it was 69.9 miles per hour. The two Americans are looking very glaikit because they don't understand what the speed limit is over here.
What is the speed limit?
70.
70 miles an hour.
Although
you can't-
when you're around Glasgow, it's like 50.
But
the
so,
motorways
like,
are so slow.
is the speed limit you legitimately had to be underneath 70 miles an hour?
There's an
'Cause
old-
here
You
it's
ha- no,
accepted
no,
that
no, no,
5
no, no,
over is
no,
okay.
The speed limit is that. It's what you have to do. So whether it's rain, fog, sunshine, if it's speed limit 70, you have to do 70 miles an hour so that all the traffic is going at the same speed.
But you can
I
get
mean,
away
I would
with.
agree with that.
It's, what is it? It is plus 10% plus 2 miles per hour. So you'll get away with about up to 80.
We do not get away with 80 here.
No?
No.
What's the speed limit in Tennessee?
Well, it depends. Like on the interstate, it'll range between 55 and 70 miles an hour.
How fast do bullets go?
I don't know. No clue. Not my expertise.
Okay.
So you've not been down the range during this break?
I
all the
haven't
all the ranges are also
Been
closed.
to a shooting range in a very long time.
What I did hear last night was there's been more tornadoes in Nashville or in Tennessee.
Yeah.
There was, yeah.
Why
actually.
are you guys such assholes today?
Oh, no,
Like,
Hey,
let
don't
me
put
talk
me in
about
the same
everything
category
that's
as
what
these
I heard.
guys.
Hold on. I'm not slacking off. I'm concerned. I was asking because it was only reported over here as being in the south, and it was only briefly they interviewed someone from Tennessee who they only identified as being from Tennessee. So I was curious as to where it actually was because it's not been reported over here as whether it was Nashville or.
It's almost like you are good friends with two people who live in Nashville who made all of these social media posts about it. So you should have been aware that it was them.
I was apparently too busy stalking random people on Instagram to notice your Instagram
Apparently.
posts.
Apparently.
So what is it that attracted you to that girl?
The Casio. I've already told you. Ricky, if you
this
think
is the idea.
if you
Hang
think
on.
I don't know
In the
that
group
you
chat.
see what I put.
I love the
on-
fact that this
on
conversation's come up
Instagram
again.
account.
Back
You,
up
you
again.
can feel him blushing even though we can't see his
I'm
face.
not in the slightest bit bothered. Not in the slightest bit bothered. Yes.
Rick. It's only me and you speaking just now. No one else is listening, okay? So,
It's in the group chat,
Okay.
just so y'all know
So-
what we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, that's fine.
so imagine for a
Sorry.
second, Rick, that you're logged into the same YouTube account as I am.
The same YouTube account as
Yeah.
you are.
Imagine you're logged into Scottish Watch's YouTube account
Right,
and your
okay.
search history from the search box is viewable by me.
Okay. Okay.
Anything you want to admit to?
Not that I'm
No,
aware of.
Knowing that other people know exactly what's going on.
Not
Fine.
within YouTube
No,
that
okay.
I can think of.
Well,
No.
we'll leave that one to sit in your grey matter. Tune in next week, folks.
I'm not logged into the Scottish Watches YouTube account apart from anything else. But there we
I'm
go.
pretty sure you have been.
I'm sure I have been.
The evidence says different.
Okay, that's nice.
Cool. Moving swiftly on.
I'm gonna apologize for my audio right now because they're doing the lawn outside. So
Why don't
my
you
bad.
apologise for your audio for the last year?
You're so mean all the time.
For the radio, there's a middle finger being stuck up.
Yeah.
As
Multiple-
Adrian narrates the chat. Stop. Jesus. You're absolutely ridiculous.
Yep. At least I'm not drunk this time.
Yeah, he's doing this sober.
Yeah. Oh, yesterday's episode. Woofed. Yeah. Rick, have you been through that one yet?
No, why is it grim?
Well, the bit you wanted me to edit out, I didn't edit it out fully.
All right, okay. Which
So,
bit was that?
The
I
f***ing
tried
bit.
to think. Oh, right, okay.
Did y'all do an
whatever.
interview, or is this just a regular episode?
No, this is just a regular episode, which Ricky's ruined probably.
So what have you guys got going on apart from drunken podcasts?
Drunken Instagram Lives. I'm doing one with Barbara Palumbo on Thursday.
Yeah, that should be comedy gold.
We're going to get absolutely rat-arsed.
Tune in for that. That's going to break. If there was ever anything we do that breaks the internet, that is going to be it. So
got that.
100% tune in for that.
We had an interview with Jodie from Just One More Watch, which went really well. And it was like we've discussed in an episode that might be out already. That was 1 year to the day in between from him coming on the first time and the second time. It was really good. Talked about lots of different things. Some of the videos I've been working on, finally getting them out. So there's an HYT video that's going to end up on YouTube by the time this goes out, which is really good, with Pietro from the Limited Edition. Yeah, all the things. It's just a big cycle. There's no... Days don't break up. It's just...
No.
It's a month. I don't even count the days anymore. I went to the shops on Sunday and picked up a paper and thought, why is this the Sunday newspaper? I'm sure the last time I was in here, this was the Sunday newspaper. It'd been a week since I was last in that shop.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird.
Well, but Adrian, like you work from home all the time anyways. Has it been a lot different other than the fact that like now your kids are home?
Yeah, so no, I love my kids to bits. They are. But no, it is weird because like body clock is completely off now, and because there's no school run, and I always work towards the weekend because weekend's a good traffic day for YouTube, and so I'm always working a lot on the weekend. But now every day feels like the weekend, so it's weird to kind of not have the structure to the week. So my working week is just gone.
What's it like for you with YouTube? Because I'd read that obviously revenue was down due to advertisers, but are you noticing trends are changing? Viewing habits? Are numbers up, down? Have they changed across the week?
Interestingly, I did a video on the Apple Watch, and that's gone crazy again. That's up to nearly 500,000 views. So obviously people at home, I'm assuming people at home starting to do a lot more exercise. They're probably looking at wanting to get an Apple Watch to monitor that. And so that video has gone crazy. But yeah, revenue is down. I'd say revenue is down probably about 45%.
Wow.
Views are down about 20%, I'd say. But yeah, some YouTubers aren't posting now because they don't like the fact that the CPM, the viewership is running so low. It's being sold cheaply. But I kind of see it as more people are at home. And although a lot of people are looking at news and more important stuff than watch channels, I kind of feel like there's still eyes out there. So I think it's a good time. And also, I can't go out. So there's not much else to do. So yeah, I like the photography stuff that I'm doing at the moment. I love doing that stuff because it's stuff that I can do at home to keep me going.
Yeah, that's taken off pretty well on your channel too. The photography videos and the iPhone shots.
It damages the channel more than anything.
All the watch people hate it.
Every time I post a photography video, the subscribers go down.
Oh, really? No.
But I enjoy it. So it's kind of, I don't care because it's something that I like to do. So yeah. One of those things.
And Rick, what have you been up to that you can divulge?
I have been harrowing the fields, rolling the fields, seeding the fields, digging the drains, and doing other work.
Sliding in the DMs?
Sliding in the DMs.
Yes. Getting the down low in the DMs. Absolutely.
Good boy. Excellent. Well, do you want to lead us out?
Thanks for all getting together, guys. It's been good to see you and to speak to you. As I like to say, it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from all of them.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.